Hi, my name is Lauren Bonigario, and I'm the college cook. I'm going to talk to you today about how to host a really great holiday party that's both budget friendly and really easy. And being college students, both of those things are very important to me. So I've divided it into two sections because the dynamics between upperclassmen and underclassmen is very different. So I have two different ideas, which of course they can kind of go across a little bit. It depends on what your particular tastes and your guests' tastes are. So we'll start off with the underclassmen, being one. I'd like to start off with that. So I always, growing up, we always had Christmas parties at my house, and we always served something, some kind of drink that was, we always had two different kinds. We had the warm ones and the cold ones. So one of my favorite cold drinks is called sherbet punch. It's actually made with sherbet ice cream and some ginger ale. And this, as well as the rest of the, rest of the recipes I'm going to talk about today are found on my website, which is www.thecollegecook.on-twitter.blogspot.com, and you can find that there, and you can also follow me on Twitter. And my name for that is The College Cook, and then the number 1. So there's the punch, and then I also have a really great recipe for hot cider that I'm sure that you'll love because it's one of those things that's it tastes like the holidays. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but it really does. And it reminds me of all of our Christmas parties that I had growing up. And it's apple cider and cinnamon and orange and honey and cloves and nutmeg, all that great holiday stuff, and it just warms you. So then for appetizers, little snacky things that you can have, you can always have things like nuts and chips and things like that, but I like to have things that are, I like to have at least one kind of rich, kind of filling appetizer, and then one really fresh one. That way they contrast and balance. So the really fresh one that I'm going to talk about is guacamole, which has pico de gallo in it, which for those of you who are not from the South, pico de gallo is basically tomatoes and onions and jalapeno peppers that are chopped up and made into a salsa. But we here in the South, in Texas, call it pico. So you mix that with some smushed up avocados, and they have those guacamole seasoning packets that are in the spices section of your grocery, and those are great. They add lots of flavor, really easy. And then the rich kind of filling appetizer I wanted to talk about was hummus for underclassmen, and hummus is a traditional Greek. It's a traditional Greek dish, and it's made from chickpeas, which are also called garbanzo beans. So if you can't find them under chickpeas, they'll be under garbanzo beans in the grocery store. And it's basically just that served with either pita chips, but I like to serve them with homemade tortilla chips, which are really, really easy. You just get some tortillas and some olive oil, salt, and pepper. You're good to go. So there's hummus, and then also we always, when I was younger, served a cheese plate, which is a really great idea because it's super easy. All you have to do is go in and buy the cheeses and get some crackers. So I recommend serving 3 kinds of cheeses, a soft cheese, a hard cheese, and then a blue cheese. The soft cheese I would recommend is a brie. It's really soft and creamy, and traditionally comes in either a small wheel, or in a wedge. So that's really, really great. And then a hard cheese, I like to serve some kind of cheddar or just a sharper cheese. And then the blue cheese, you can serve any kind of blue cheese you want. Roquefort is a really great blue cheese. It's just really, really yummy, and I don't know how to explain it. It's just really good. All right, and then for your main course, because you have these appetizers and stuff like that, you don't need something really heavy. You don't need a lot of sides or anything like that. So I suggest just serving one entree, one meat, and one side. If you're a vegetarian, I'll have a video blog for you later. But this is for the entree, I really, really like the rotisserie chickens out of the grocery store. And if you're having about 15 people over, I would suggest about 3 of those. It's about 5 people per chicken because you have the appetizers and stuff like that. Normally, if you're not going to have that many appetizers, it's probably going to be 3 people to a rotisserie chicken. So anyway, then for your side, I really like salads, and I make my own just different ingredient salads and stuff like that. And one of my favorites, especially around the holiday times, is take the prepackaged romaine lettuce. You don't even have to cut it up or anything. You just get the package of it, or your favorite kind of lettuce. Depends on what you like. Spinach also tastes really good with this salad. And then you take pears and you dice them up coarsely, and then chop some walnuts and then put that in there. And if you want, you can do raisins. I know a lot of people aren't very big fans of raisins, so you don't have to do that. And then you take some blue or feta cheese. It depends on your taste again. I prefer blue cheese in this, but I know that my sister prefers feta, so it just depends on what you like. And then you mix that together, and then in a separate bowl, you mix like about 3 tablespoons of olive oil and the juice of 1 lemon, and then you add black pepper and salt, and then you mix that up until it's emulsified, and then you either can serve that on the side, or you can put it over the salad and mix it right before your guest, because you don't want anything getting soggy, because that's kind of gross. And then I have a dessert as well, which I really, really love, pumpkin cheesecake. And I know it's in between the holidays, so the hot cider is kind of like that Christmas taste, and then the pumpkin cheesecake is kind of like that Thanksgiving thing. So you kind of got both rolled into one. So pumpkin cheesecake, I'm not very good at baking, so I like to cheat a little bit. So I took the traditional Philadelphia cheesecake recipe, although you can use whatever kind of cheesecake recipe that you have on the box of your on the box of your cheesecake. And I added beat an egg, and then add half of that into the recipe that you've already made. Then 4 to 6 tablespoons of the canned pureed pumpkin pie filling. Add 4 to 6 tablespoons of that. You're going to have to taste this because some people like a stronger pumpkin flavor, some people just like a very subtle, so it just depends on what you like. And then an extra quarter of a package of cream cheese. So you mix all that together, and then you have a graham cracker crust, and you put that along with the rest of the ingredients that the package says. You put that in your cheesecake, in your graham cracker crust, and you bake it according to the directions on the cheesecake. Just basically bake it at whatever temperature it says until the middle doesn't jiggle when you push it. And that's pretty much it for the food aspect of it. If this is your first party that you're hosting by yourself, you need to know that you're going to have lots of drinks, because people tend to drink a lot, and you're going to want to put, if you have things like nuts or M&Ms or some kind of candy, you're going to want to put little dishes of that in several places, because you don't want everybody all crowded around one. And if you're still cooking when people get there, I can guarantee you everyone's going to end up in the kitchen. So hopefully you'll have a lot of it done before your guests get there. And for seating, if you don't have a lot of seating, because I know most college students don't exactly have a large dining room table, so you can either just have it cocktail style where everyone stands, or you can have it in a way that allows everyone to sit down, so you can open up your couches, put a few extra chairs out there. Or if you don't have enough chairs for everybody, I would go with pillows. If you put pillows on the ground, and they're pretty close friends, because at formal Christmas parties you wouldn't do that because they're your friends. You can just put down big fluffy pillows on the ground, and everybody can sit down, and it's really comfortable that way and really informal, and it takes the holiday thing and makes it more family friendly, and like a family like atmosphere. So that's it for my first blog. My next one's going to be about upperclassmen parties, so just check that out. Thanks.